What is up, everybody? Welcome to Heads Up Play, episode 53. We got a lot we're going to dive into, man. It's kind of crazy to think we're on week 4 of college football and we're approaching week 3 of NFL. It's crazy to think about. But let's dive into it, episode 53.
Yes, sir. Episode 53 of the Heads Up Play podcast. We are here, as you mentioned, week 4 of college football, week 3 of the NFL. It almost feels like it's going by a little bit too fast for my
I
liking.
don't like it. I don't like it.
It just means, after this week, we're a third of the way done with the regular season for college football, at least. It's pretty incredible how fast this is going by. It may just be me, it may just be you. Who knows? But
we're already on bye week.
I know. Yeah, Alabama's already on their first bye week along with Georgia. We're going to get into that game next week. Of course, we'll go into pretty good detail for that game. That's going to be probably the biggest game of the year so far for any team, I would think.
What about the game?
I called the game for a reason. They had a war. But I think that'll be the biggest game. But we're not quite there yet. We do still have some games for this week.
And I think the games this week is better than last week. I think
so. Absolutely. Last week was kind of a letdown. You didn't really. Your biggest matchups were South Carolina and LSU and Alabama and Wisconsin. South Carolina LSU was a great game.
Really, the biggest game turned into be Georgia Kentucky.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Did we go over any sort of discussion? Did we have any recap? I think we did. We had a past episode. But
before we get to college, how about that Monday Night Football game?
Hey, rise up. Your Falcons pulled it off in Philly. Yeah. Nick Sirianni, you're out, dude. You don't have much time left.
Philadelphia, for them to go to 3 straight playoffs with him, they really hate that man. And he took a Super Bowl, I want to say year 1. Yes, year 1. And they really hate him.
They despise him, throwing popcorn on him and crap. Another news, probably aside from that, maybe the biggest news in the NFL this week, poor Alabama quarterback, probably the greatest Alabama quarterback of all time per accolades, considering he won the Heisman, Bryce Young, just in the worst situation imaginable there in Carolina and is benched for Andy Dalton. Has Bryce Young been good? Absolutely not. But you cannot put much of the blame on him at this point.
I'm going to say, okay. I was watching highlights, or whenever they came out with a Bryce Young's getting benched, they released footage of games this year. Has he missed a lot of open passes? Yes. Is he not moving around in the pocket like they thought he could? Yes. But is a lot of it his? No. There's been no development.
How you have your best receiver is an old fogey in Adam Thielen. And you have the worst offensive line in the league, and you're a short quarterback. You're small. Yes, we get it. That was kind of a downside for him when he was drafted, but he was small at Alabama in the biggest conference in college football.
Was that a Tepper? This was the owner's move, because if you remember on Sunday, David Canales came out and said Bryce Young is our quarterback. He is our starting quarterback, and then the very next day, Andy Dalton was announced as the starting quarterback.
Well, at this point, that just shows how bipolar Tepper is. You do not want to work for this guy whatsoever because he's fired coaches left and right without giving them any sort of a chance. You look at the Bryce Young situation now, why would anybody want to coach, work, or play in Carolina? It makes no sense whatsoever to me. Terrible organization. Easily, in my opinion, probably the worst run, I don't want to say the worst run organization in all of sports, but it's up there.
It's up there. It's up there with the Miami Marlins, I'm trying to think who else, NBA-wise.
With the Wizards or some team like that.
Charlotte.
Yeah. Hey, if you're a pro sports fan in North Carolina and Charlotte, I'm sorry for you.
Charlotte fan, Jesus Christ, you deserve a trophy. This is your time. If you are a Panthers fan right now, this is your time. You can chip in that card and says, I want to switch fan base. I want to switch teams right now. Like
Nobody would blame any Carolina fan for switching a fan base at this point.
There is no end to this. There is no line at this time.
There's not whatsoever. Well, let's get into some college ball here because, as mentioned,
breaking news: Shohei Ohtani gets 50 for 50.
In case you didn't know, everybody, Shohei Ohtani, bow down to him right now. In case you haven't done your daily Shohei Ohtani cocksucking, okay? Because if you haven't, ESPN sure does. Look, I get it. They've done it for you. Look, Shohei Ohtani. We haven't talked much baseball this summer just due to circumstances, and it's probably not for great reason, right? But Shohei Ohtani, got to give it to him. One of the greatest seasons in baseball history for just a designated
this is like
hitter.
LeBron James kind of sucking right now from ESPN.
It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. I mean, it's an incredible season by Shohei Ohtani. Don't get me wrong, but did they do this for Ronald Acuna last year? No.
The Aaron Judge home run record a couple years ago, or this? What was worse? Like how they handled.
Oh God, I would have to say Aaron Judge, just because they were putting Aaron Judge at bats in the middle of NFL games. Like, was that really necessary?
It'd be the middle of a college football game, and you're putting on Aaron Judge.
Nobody cares. People in New York do not care about college football. College football fans like MLB, but come on now. Come on.
I don't know, man. But let's dig into college football. Shohei Ohtani, he has not played an SEC team, so that's
yeah. Dude, has Shohei Ohtani played the brutalness of an SEC schedule? Heck no.
He's sticking to Iowa, UCLA, all that.
Right. He's in that Big Ten West. So, all right. So let's get started. We got a few games. I got one that's not listed on your list that you sent me over here. And I think that this is a bigger game than people think. Minus 17 points. The Miami Hurricanes are favored over the Bulls of South Florida. Now, look, I think a lot of people know the history with me in USF, and my fiance, she used to work there, went to school there. I have no connection to USF aside from living at Tampa at one point. Okay? I am not some USF homer. But I've seen the way they played Alabama. I've seen this coach, and this is at USF. If they can do what they did to Alabama against Cam Ward in Miami, who's a pretty similar quarterback to Jalen Milroe, maybe a better passer for sure. But if they can, Cam Ward has always done what? What has been Cam Ward's struggle? Getting out of the pocket and trying to make something happen that doesn't work. And if they start literally bull rushing the way they did Alabama and Jalen Milroe all night long, he's going to make some sort of mistake. I'm calling my upset of the week. Big one. USF over Miami.
Wow. What is it at? Is it at USF?
It's at USF. Sold out. This is their biggest game in years. I mean, this come on. It's a night game. Why not? In USF, let's not act like they haven't upset Power 5 teams before. They've upset a lot of Power 5 teams before.
USF is a good team, but not so fast. I think Miami is really kind of locked in right now for the ACC. I thought it was Georgia Tech, then Florida State kind of. Give me Miami. Do I think first half is going to be close? Yes. But I think towards the end of the game, second half, it's going to be blowout. Give me the Hurricanes. Rock you like a hurricane. Give me Mario Cristobal Hurricanes.
My issue with Miami, and I want Miami to be good. I've wanted Miami to be good for so long because in our lifetime, you and I really haven't seen Miami be good.
I've never seen Miami good.
You know, Miami used to, of course, be like that team. They had the dynasty in the 80s and the early 90s. Of course, the greatest team of all time, maybe until 2019 LSU. And that 2001 team, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all them. But we haven't seen them be good since then. So I want Miami to be good. I just don't fully trust Mario Cristobal in a close game like that yet. So if it does become a close game, I just don't trust him. We've just seen too many bad game management decisions from him. But don't want to spend too much time on that game. What is next on our list? Of course, my dogs are going crazy.
No, this is a Friday night game, and I'm excited to see this. Illinois at Nebraska. Dylan Raiola. I'm very excited to see him play. And it's a top 25 game, 24 Illinois, 22 Nebraska. Nebraska whooped Colorado's ass. Illinois, who did they beat the other day? They beat somebody to get ranked.
I forgot who they played as well.
Beat
Kansas, that's right, who was expected to be pretty good this year with Jalen Daniels. I'm going to go with Nebraska on this game. Are you aware of what the line is here?
It is 7.5.
7.5 for who?
Nebraska.
Nebraska was what I thought. I'm going to go with Nebraska in this. I've been impressed with them so far. I think Matt Rule is doing a good job of building something there. They look like they're a confident team, like the way they're playing, really like Raiola. He's weirding me out with the Patrick Mahomes stuff.
I like when Matt Rule comes out and says it's going to cost you $2 million something million dollars to get a quarterback, and then next week he is Dylan Raiola.
Right.
I like this kid. He is Mahomes 2.0. He wants to be Mahomes 2.0. Watch out. He's going to date a girl that looks just like Brittany Mahomes, and her name is going to be Sid, the sloth from Ice Age.
You know who we haven't seen in forever is Patrick Mahomes, his brother, Jackson Mahomes. Where has he been? Where has he been the past 2 years? Oh, no. Is that secretly Dylan Raiola?
He got arrested for sexual assault. He groped a girl and then stuck his tongue down her throat.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing ever because everybody was sure that he was gay.
Video.
Yeah, it was a security cam footage.
It was rough. It was rough to watch.
Yeah,
let's move to the next game. So we both have Nebraska. This next game, I kind of think it has this potential to be an upset. North Carolina State at Clemson.
This is an interesting game because I think people were higher on NC State than they kind of have looked to this point, especially after the game at Tennessee. I'm going to go with Clemson in this game. I'm going to take the safe one. It's at Death Valley, the not real Death Valley. They're in Clemson. Do think that they kind of rebounded against Appalachian State, when they just beat the dog crap out of them there in the first half.
They got by 18.5 points.
I'm not super confident 18.5. I don't know if I would take that. But Tennessee did go all over the field on NC State. However, Clemson ain't got Clemson's offense can't hold the jock strap of Tennessee's.
Yeah.
So give me Clemson. I'm gonna say don't cover that 18.5.
Yeah, they're not gonna cover that 18 at all. Next game. This is a big game in the Big Ten. I never thought I'd say this about these two teams. USC at Michigan. I mean, I can't think of the last time USC was at the Big House.
I can't either. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before just because, teams like that used to play all the time. Alabama would go out to USC every now and then back in the 70s and such. Give me USC in this game.
By a lot.
By a good bit. I do think that this will be the best defense that USC will have played to this point. But I'm liking the way USC has looked. I think that their defense has stepped up with DeAnton Lynn. We've said it a couple times so far the past couple weeks. If Lincoln Riley can get himself a defense, watch out for USC or any Lincoln Riley team for that matter. Seems like he's got at least a decent defense here.
And we should see a different Michigan team this week. Warren is not starting off Alex Orji, or however the hell you pronounce that last name. He is starting off for Michigan, so we will see a different Michigan team this week. I cannot imagine this any much better. It's kind of like when Jalen Milroe got taken out for Tyler Buckner, and everybody thought everything would be – I'm not going to lie. I thought I was one of those people. I thought everything would be better. So, Alex Orji, we'll see how he does with Michigan, but give me USC, and they're saying the line is 5. I think that covers.
I think USC can definitely cover that.
Yeah, I think they can cover that. All right, next game. And I really want to put this on here because this team has failed so hard. UCLA at LSU.
Deshaun Foster is not it. I thought it was such a lazy hire by UCLA. It was a hire knowing this guy is not going to get us. This guy is not going to be very good for us. And LSU has looked a little sus to this point. I'm not going to lie. But they do still have a high-flying offense. I do like Garrett Nussmeier as a quarterback. I think he can be good. It's at LSU. UCLA is not going to be ready for that environment.
How do you go from and I'm gonna say this: I don't blame Deshaun Foster as much. You go from a running backs coach to a head coach. I mean, you've never been a coordinator. I don't believe. No, never been a coordinator. The highest. I mean, you went from UCLA's strength and assistant GA to a running back coach at Texas Tech, and then running back coach at UCLA since 2017, and then you get the head coaching position.
Yeah, it was too. It was almost like how at least Mississippi State, when they hired Zach Arnett, at least he was a coordinator. Now that felt a little bit of the same way, but yeah, you're right. It's just too big of a jump. I think for him, he doesn't have the. It doesn't seem like he has the leadership capabilities to be a head coach.
You wanted to get rid of Chip Kelly, and you landed on this.
Exactly, a fantastic head coach in Chip Kelly, a guy who took an Oregon team to a national championship, and won a bunch of Pac-10 and Pac-12 championships. And here you are hiring from within your running backs coach. I didn't really get it. But give me LSU. Pretty big in that game.
Big. 22.5 is the point.
Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets at Louisville.
This one has potential to be my upset of the week, but I think Louisville's going to blow them away. I like this Louisville team. I don't know what it is. They got grit. I like this team.
I like this Louisville team as well. Of course, Braum is a great coach. He's done well with Louisville. I was high on Georgia Tech initially. To begin the season, but I think that was simply just due to a high after getting our first game to start the season in college football. We got college football, and we didn't know how to take it. We saw a Georgia Tech team upset Florida State. Well, here we are now, 3 weeks later, and Florida State is 0-3 with losses to Boston College and Memphis. I think this Georgia Tech team can be good. I do like Brent Key as a coach. But give me Louisville in this game. I'm not as high on Georgia Tech as I was to start out.
Let's see that line. That line, they got it at 10.5 Louisville. I agree with that. I don't think they cover. That's going to be closer, I think.
Just to stop you right here, our South Alabama Jaguars have a high-flying offense. They're currently playing App State right now, and this Gio Lopez kid is legit. He looks like Tua out there, honestly.
Transfer. What's the score?
21-0 Jags right now in the second quarter.
Well, I didn't realize this. We lost to Ohio the week 2.
He didn't play in that game, yeah.
He was hurt, yeah. But
could win the Sun Belt. Who knows? We're already throwing that out there. He's going to win the Heisman. But yeah, let's move on. What do we have next?
This is my upset of the week. I know It's 12 versus 14. Utah at Oklahoma State. Give me the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. I think they're going to show these Utah players that you and your wives are not going to be able to beat us this week. And they're going to send them home to their 5 wives. I'm telling you. Give me Oklahoma State. I like this Oklahoma State team. I love Gundy. I think Ollie Gordon is the best, besides the boy at Boise State. He's going off. But I think Ollie Gordon is the best running back in the nation. Give me Oklahoma State.
No, I'm with you. Give me Oklahoma State in this game. Give me the Cowpokes. Give me old Pistol Pete and them Cowboys to beat Utah. Now, Cam Rising has been hurt. Seems like he might be going into his 8th year of eligibility already. I don't know if he's going to play this game or not. I haven't really looked into his health status. But give me Oklahoma State in this game. I know a lot of people made made some waves about the Arkansas performance. But hey, they came back in that game, and don't sleep on Arkansas because they've looked good. That Taylon Green quarterback for Arkansas has looked good, and they came back against them.
I don't know if I can say Arkansas looks good. Look at that.
I don't want to say okay, not necessarily looks good, but they definitely look much improved from last season. Can you say that?
Did you watch that UAB game?
Hey, look, everybody throws up a stinker every now and then. Hey, Trent Dilfer got them boys coming now.
But Oklahoma State right now is 2.5-point favorites. I think they cover. Right now, ESPN has them actually projected to win by 60% chance to win. So
you can't be trusting that ESPN, the FPI thing.
It's kind of crazy to look at it. I think it's who's the Colts playing this week? Because the reason why I say that is it said Caleb Williams and Anthony Richardson are both 22 years old, right? The starting quarterbacks for Oklahoma State, Utah are 24.
That's pretty incredible. It's hard to believe Anthony Richardson is still 22 after being now in his second year in the league. That's pretty interesting to me. All right. Game day location. First ever SEC game for the new members. Oklahoma gets their first one. Texas gets to have a little easy game against UL Monroe. Oklahoma, however, gets a high flying offense with a good-looking defense, and Tennessee coming to town in Norman. I'm going to be honest with you on this one. I think this is a blowout in Tennessee's favor.
Blows them out.
I just don't think Oklahoma has looked okay, but okay ain't going to cut it against a team like Tennessee. And Josh Heupel is going to be coming with something. Josh Heupel got fired as the OC, I believe, or some coach back 10 years or so. Maybe it was even longer ago than that, by Bob Stoops. He got a vendetta coming for his Oklahoma Sooners.
They got Tennessee's 6.5-point favorites on the road at Oklahoma.
I think that's an easy cover.
I think that's easy. We're not big on Oklahoma whatsoever. I'm not big on Jackson Arnold. I've never liked Brett Venables. I think he's a hell of a coordinator, hell of a recruiter but coach, I just don't think he can do it. Give me Tennessee. I think they blow them out. Oklahoma struggled against Tulane. They struggled against Houston of all teams, who've been terrible since they've joined the Big Four. Give me a Tennessee.
Now this will be Tennessee's biggest test so far because it is, it's an SEC game.
You had North Carolina say who they were ranked.
But are we really that high on NC State? Because I'm not.
On neutral ground.
On neutral ground. I'll give you that. I think this is going to be Tennessee's. I think Oklahoma beats NC State. I will say that. So I think
it helps Tennessee, I think, since this is not the first time they've been in Oklahoma in the last. Yeah, I think they played at Oklahoma. I think when Kamara was there. Which was the coach.
I forgot about that. All right. A battle. I'm going to call this the ass bowl or the toilet bowl.
The tank bowl.
Golly. God help the loser of this game. Florida on the road to Mississippi State. What can you even say in this game? Mississippi State just got their butts handed to them. Excuse my French, they got their asses handed to them. By who, John Rivers?
Toledo.
The Toledo Rockets. And don't get me wrong, Toledo's a pretty good team there in the MAC. But it's the MAC.
You lost him 41-17.
You didn't just lose to Toledo. You lost to Toledo.
They put their second string.
So, that was like when South Alabama went into, Stillwater, Oklahoma. That's what that looked like.
But I don't go with an upset. Give me the Bulldogs of Mississippi State.
Ooh.
I really think Florida is just dead. I think the locker room's lost.
Okay.
I think it's gone. I feel like the locker room was lost before even the season. When they released the schedule, I think the locker room was lost.
I agree.
It's over from Billy Napier. If they lose this game, don't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets fired. I do.
He
I
would
think
have to be. He would have to be.
do I think
Go ahead.
does he think if he loses this game, I don't think he'll get fired. But if he loses this game and then loses to Central Florida next week, he's gone.
I am going to go with Florida in this game. Simply because it's like his only shot to get a FBS win this year. Let's be real. It's going to be his only game they're favored in going forward. Now, I will say, Florida has struggled before in Starkville, Mississippi. That has been a sort of a house of horrors for them in the past.
I don't know what it is. Mississippi State at 11 o'clock is I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I feel like the Cowbells they're harder during the daytime than they are at night.
Something's off there. It's like the world, like the world is off tilt over there at those 11 a.m. kickoffs for Mississippi State. Give me Florida in this game, but I'm with you. If he does indeed lose this game, you 100% have to fire him. You have no excuse whatsoever. You got 2 weeks after this because they're going into a bye before the UCF game. That gives you time to find an interim head coach. Get him out of there. Clean house. You are the Florida Gators, okay? You are a once great program, and you are if you lose to Mississippi State, who just got their butts kicked by Toledo, you are dead. Yeah, I mean, what more can you say? Like, you have killed the program at that point. So, but give me Florida.
Yep, I agree. Before we get to Auburn, let's do a quick one right here. And Baylor, or is it Baylor at Colorado? Just because you got Deion and all that. 2-1 with Colorado. Baylor's 2-1 right now. Who do you got in this game? Give me the Buffalo. The Buffalo.
Okay. Who's favored in this game?
Right now, it's Colorado by 2.
That's a close game. I'm going to go with Colorado as well. Not super high on Baylor this year. Now, I haven't done too much research into Baylor myself. Haven't watched them play at all.
Last year.
Yeah. Give me Colorado in a close one. I like that 2 line, but not something I'm going to bet on. I do think that maybe Colorado's getting it back in the groove a little bit. You should have beaten Colorado State a lot more than you did, but give me Colorado, sure.
All right. Last game we're going to talk about today, Arkansas at Auburn. What is the rival school? What is the Barn College going to do against Arkansas? They got a new quarterback. They are back. That's what the fans are saying. And you know what? I'm buying in. Is Auburn back? No. But will they beat the Razorbacks? Give me Auburn to beat Arkansas.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh, upset in Jordan Hare.
Give me the Razorbacks. I think Taylon Green, I like this kid. I think he's going to run all over them Tigers. I really do. Hey, cut it out, you dogs. Give me Arkansas in this game simply because Hank Brown, did he look good last week? Yes, he did. But this team has kind of struggled on defense.
I'm saying defense
which is totally opposite from last year, because last year they had a really, really good defense. It has not looked like the same defense. You let South Alabama 28-0. You let New Mexico run on you. New Mexico was only down a few points going into halftime last game. Now, of course, you ran away in the second half, but that was not a good-looking first half whatsoever for Auburn. And I just don't know about if Hank Brown is going to have the gonads to be able to get a big win in his first SEC game. And this would be a big win based on the way Auburn has played so far. Losing to Cal, beating Arkansas, I think would be a big win.
It would be big.
So that's our predictions for the week.
You got some NFL coming up. You got the Falcons prime time, baby, prime time against the Chiefs. It's It's gonna be a tough game, but I think we can pull it out. Let's hope we do it.
Hey, in Mercedes Benz, that'll be cool to see. Chiefs and Mercedes Benz Stadium. Have they ever played there yet? I feel like
I
they
don't
have.
know. I doubt it.
I don't think they have.
I can't wait to see Taylor there eat a.
Oh gosh.
I'm telling you.
You know, they're gonna have Taylor Swift, and the Falcons are gonna have T.I.
Something like
Sexy Red.
Flo Millie. All right, question of the day, and I watched a sequel the other day, and made me think of this because my God, I've never seen it. What is the worst movie sequel of all time in your opinion? Because I already have my answer.
Worst movie sequel of all time. Oh gosh.
I got mine.
All right, so I'm looking at. I'm actually looking up. So you guys can't see it in my little office here, but above my computer screen are 3 movie posters. 3 of my favorite movies of all time. Are they only one of them is in like my top 5 favorite movies, but I still really like these movies. They're great. They're cool posters. I got Apocalypse Now, badass. That's one of my top 5 favorite movies. The Karate Kid, and Back to the Future. Great movie posters. The Karate Kid is a fantastic movie, in my opinion. Classic 80s movie. A lot of people said growing up that I looked like the Karate Kid. I actually dressed up as him for Halloween in college. So I really like that movie. The Karate Kid 2, 3, anything afterwards, awful movies. Awful. And that's just what I can think of off the dome. Horrible movies.
What I'm about to say is worse than all the movies you just mentioned. Have you ever
The Godfather Part 3?
Have you ever seen Independence Day?
Yes, I have.
Great movie. I mean, I think it's one of the best like sci-fi action movies ever. Have you ever seen Independence Day 2?
I have not.
Oh my God, that is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. The dialogue is horrible. The plot is stupid. Oh my God, please go watch it on Max tonight.
Okay.
I'm telling you, got to go watch it.
I got another one. And I think that one's kind of notorious for being bad, is it not? Like it's kind of known for being pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. I'm telling you, it's bad. I forgot how bad.
Have you ever seen classic Christian Bale movie, American Psycho?
You talking about yes, you're talking about the Mila Kunis one.
Yes, American Psycho 2, starring Mila Kunis. God awful movie.
What's another bad one? I'll be honest.
Shrek 2. Actually, that was a pretty good movie.
The new Star Wars prequel, the new Star Wars sequels that Disney did. Oh, Disney needs to stop now. Jesus, I could go on a rant about that forever. They're ruining Star Wars with them being woke and all.
Disney doesn't want to do anything new. That's the thing.
No.
Everything's a sequel or a spinoff or.
I'll tell you what I watched the other day for the first time. And, it's considered a cult classic, and the only reason why I watched it because they just came out with a sequel to it. Actually, Beetlejuice.
I do want to watch that. As well.
I've never seen the first one ever. Watched it the other day. Meh.
I got one for you. We'll stick on the movies. What is the best, not sequel, but the best remake of a movie you can think of? Or the best, like, spinoff? For example, let's take Twister and Twisters. I thought that was pretty good. I'm not going to put it up there with the best, but I thought it was good.
Mad Max. The new Mad Max was up there.
Okay.
See, personally, I like the new True Grit. I like Westerns a lot. I like John Wayne. Grew up on John Wayne, but the new True Grit was pretty good. I'm trying to think of a good remake.
I'm going to give you one that you probably haven't seen that I think is fantastic. You got to watch the first one, but you don't have to watch it in order to watch the second one, the new one. On Netflix, it's actually in German, but it's dubbed over in English. You can get it. All Quiet on the Western Front.
I've never seen that. No, I know what you're talking about.
Impeccable. It was like a comedy movie back in like the 60s or the 50s. Remade it. Incredible. Great cinematography.
One of my favorite movies of all time is in Korean, and that is Parasite.
Oh my God, I love Parasite.
That movie is
Hilarious.
And The Last Train to Busan.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's made by the same guy, I believe, Bong Joon.
Okay.
And it's like a zombie movie. It's so good. So good.
Have you seen, this is totally off topic, but me and Lindsay watched not too long ago Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. Have you seen that yet?
That's one of my Hannah's favorite movies.
Really? I love that movie. It was great. Well, guys, I think that does it for episode 53 of the Heads Up Play podcast. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, give us your predictions for this week. What do you think is the biggest game? Give us your upset of the weekend. What you think? Follow us on all of those right there as I just went over. And as always, hit them with it, John Rivers.
Y'all stay classy.
Stay classy, everyone.